Have you ever stopped to think about the power of your own voice, not the one others hear, but the one you hear inside your head? That voice shapes your world more than anyone else's words ever could. Yet, too often, we let it run wild with doubt, fear, and negativity. What if we could change that? What if we could speak to ourselves with kindness, courage, and compassion? I want to share 6 lines you can say to yourself every day. These are not just words, they're seeds you plant in your heart to grow the life you deserve. Speak these lines with intention. Speak them like you mean them. And watch as they transform the way you see yourself and the world around you. Your internal voice is the most influential voice in your life. It's with you in every moment, shaping the way you see yourself, the world, and your place within it. The words you speak to yourself hold incredible power. They can build you up or tear you down, often without you even realizing it. Too often we allow this voice to be overly critical, filled with doubt and fear, repeating narratives that aren't even true. But here's the truth, you have the power to rewrite those narratives. Imagine what would change if you began speaking to yourself with kindness, courage, and compassion. Instead of focusing on your flaws, you could remind yourself that you are worthy just as you are. Instead of dwelling on mistakes, you could acknowledge them as part of the learning process. This isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to meet yourself with the same grace you would offer to a dear friend. When you say to yourself, "I am worthy of love and belonging," you affirm that your value isn't tied to what you achieve or how others perceive you. When you remind yourself, "I am enough as I am right now," you give yourself permission to embrace your humanity, imperfections, and all. Courage grows when you declare, "I have the strength to face my fears." It's not about being fearless, it's about taking one small step forward, even when fear tries to hold you back. Honoring your boundaries and respecting your needs isn't selfish, it's an act of self-love. When you tell yourself, "I deserve to take up space," you reinforce that your voice, your feelings, and your presence all matter. Forgiveness is another gift you can give yourself. Mistakes don't define who you are. When you say, "I forgive myself," you release the weight of shame and make room for growth. And finally, choosing joy and gratitude each day shifts your focus. Even on the hardest days, there is something worth noticing, something to be thankful for. These simple, intentional words can transform the way you see yourself. They create space for healing, courage, and connection. Because at the end of the day, the relationship you have with yourself shapes everything else. Shifting from self-criticism to self-compassion can transform your mindset. Self-criticism often feels like a natural response to mistakes or setbacks. We think that being hard on ourselves will somehow push us to do better, to try harder, to be more. But the truth is, harsh self-criticism rarely leads to growth. It leads to shame, fear, and self-doubt. It traps you in a cycle where you focus on what's wrong rather than what's possible. Self-compassion, on the other hand, creates space for growth and resilience. It's not about letting yourself off the hook or avoiding accountability. It's about choosing kindness over harshness, understanding over judgment, and encouragement over criticism. When you replace "I can't believe I messed up" with "I'm human, and I'll learn from this," you change the narrative. When you tell yourself, "It's okay to rest, I'm doing the best I can," you honor your limits instead of punishing yourself for them. Self-compassion isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for a healthy mind and heart. It reminds you that perfection is not the goal, and imperfection doesn't diminish your worth. This shift allows you to approach challenges with curiosity instead of fear. It helps you see mistakes as stepping stones instead of barriers. It fosters a deeper connection with yourself, a relationship rooted in trust, respect, and care. When you practice self-compassion, you give yourself permission to try, to fail, and to rise again. You begin to see yourself as someone deserving of grace, not just from others, but from yourself. And as you extend compassion inward, it becomes easier to extend it outward to others who are also navigating life's complexities. This isn't an instant transformation, it's a practice. But with each compassionate word, with each gentle reminder, you slowly rewire your mindset. You step out of the shadows of criticism and into the light of self-acceptance. And from that place, growth becomes not only possible but inevitable. Speaking affirmations isn't about denial, it's about grounding yourself in truth. It's not pretending that challenges don't exist or that everything in life is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on what is real, what is good, and what is possible, even in the face of difficulty. Affirmations are a way to reclaim the narrative you tell yourself. They help you cut through the noise of self-doubt, fear, and negativity that often cloud your mind. When you say, I am worthy, it's not about ignoring your flaws or struggles. It's a reminder that your worth is intrinsic, not tied to your achievements or the opinions of others. When you tell yourself, I am enough, it doesn't mean you'll stop growing. It means you're choosing to embrace who you are right now while allowing space for growth to happen. Affirmations ground you in the present moment. They help you recognize that despite the uncertainties of life, there is strength, resilience, and beauty within you. Speaking them is an act of defiance against the critical voices, whether external or internal, that try to tell you otherwise. It's not about pretending to have all the answers or being unaffected by life's challenges. It's about finding the courage to believe in yourself, even when it feels hard. Affirmations are not hollow words, they're anchors. They steady you when the waves of doubt and fear try to pull you under. They remind you of what you already know deep down but might have forgotten in the chaos of everyday life. Every time you speak an affirmation, you're planting a seed. With time and repetition, those seeds grow into a mindset rooted in self-belief and self-compassion. This isn't about creating a false sense of confidence. It's about reclaiming your truth one affirmation, one moment, one day at a time. Because the stories you tell yourself shape the life you live. And by speaking affirmations, you're choosing to live a story of courage, kindness, and possibility. I am worthy reminds you that your value isn't conditional. It isn't based on your accomplishments, your productivity, or the approval of others. It doesn't waver with your successes or failures, nor does it diminish because of mistakes or missteps. Worthiness is not something you earn, it's something you inherently possess. Yet so many of us tie our sense of worth to external markers, grades, promotions, relationships, appearances. We chase validation thinking that if we just do more or become more, then we'll finally feel enough. But worthiness doesn't work that way. You are worthy the day you were born, and you are worthy now simply because you exist. When you remind yourself, I am worthy, you're affirming a truth that doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion. You're choosing to reject the false narratives that tell you otherwise. This simple statement carries profound power. It invites you to show up in life fully, without fear of judgment or rejection. It allows you to set boundaries, knowing that your needs and feelings matter. It encourages you to pursue dreams, not because you need to prove yourself, but because you deserve joy and fulfillment. Worthiness is the foundation of self-love and self-respect. It's what helps you stand tall, even when the world tries to shake your confidence. It's what reminds you to be kind to yourself, even on the days when you feel small. I am worthy is not a mantra of arrogance or entitlement. It's a quiet, steadfast acknowledgement of your humanity, your uniqueness, and your right to be here. When you speak these words, you reclaim the parts of yourself that doubt has tried to steal. You step back into the truth of who you are. And in that truth, you find strength, peace, and belonging. I am enough helps combat the trap of perfectionism. Perfectionism whispers that you must do more, be more, achieve more to be worthy. It convinces you that mistakes are failures and that your worth depends on getting everything exactly right. But perfectionism is a moving target, one you can never truly hit. It leaves you exhausted, chasing an ideal that doesn't exist, and questioning your value every step of the way. Saying I am enough challenges that narrative. It reminds you that your value isn't tied to how perfect you appear or how flawless your efforts are. You don't have to prove your worth through constant striving or endless accomplishments. Being enough doesn't mean settling or giving up on growth. It means recognizing that growth can coexist with self-acceptance. It's knowing that you are already deserving of love, respect, and belonging exactly as you are. When you tell yourself, I am enough, you free yourself from the impossible standards perfectionism demands. You give yourself permission to make mistakes, to learn, and to grow without fear of being judged. It allows you to rest when you need to, knowing that your value doesn't depend on how much you do. This simple affirmation is a powerful reminder that you are whole, even in your imperfections. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have within you. Saying, I am enough is an act of courage in a world that constantly tells you to be more. It's a way of reclaiming your self-worth from the grip of comparison and criticism. You are enough today in this moment just as you are. And when you embrace that truth, you create space for joy, for peace, and for the freedom to live authentically. Courage isn't about fearlessness, it's about moving forward despite fear. Fear is a natural part of being human. It signals risk, uncertainty, and the possibility of failure. But courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act even when fear is present. It's that moment when your hands shake, your heart races, and your mind is filled with doubt, but you take the step anyway. Courage is found in the small, quiet decisions we make daily. It's speaking up when your voice feels unsteady. It's trying something new when you're unsure of the outcome. It's letting yourself be vulnerable, even when it feels uncomfortable. Fear often tries to convince you to stay safe, to avoid risks, to keep things predictable. But courage knows that growth lies just beyond the boundaries of your comfort zone. It's not about being reckless or ignoring your instincts. It's about trusting yourself to handle whatever comes next. Courage doesn't always look bold or dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as showing up for yourself when it would be easier to hide. It's taking one small step forward when everything inside you wants to freeze. When you choose courage, you're building resilience. Each time you face a fear, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. Courage is a practice, not a destination. You don't wake up one day without fear. It will always be there. But with every courageous act, you learn to carry it differently. You learn that fear doesn't have to stop you. It can walk beside you as you move forward. Courage is what allows you to live a life aligned with your values, dreams, and true self. It's not about never feeling afraid. It's about recognizing fear and stepping forward anyway. Because every step you take in courage brings you closer to the person you're meant to be. Boundaries and self-respect are acts of self-love. They are not walls to keep people out, but bridges to protect your inner peace and well-being. Setting boundaries is about defining what is acceptable and unacceptable in your life. It's about knowing your limits and having the courage to communicate them clearly. When you respect your own boundaries, you're sending a powerful message to yourself: I matter. My needs matter. Self-respect means recognizing your worth and refusing to tolerate behaviors or situations that diminish it. It's not about being harsh or rigid. It's about honoring your values and protecting your emotional health. There's often a fear that setting boundaries will disappoint others or push them away. But the truth is, healthy boundaries create healthier relationships. They allow you to engage with others from a place of mutual respect rather than resentment or burnout. When you say no to things that drain you, you're saying yes to your own well-being. And when you say yes to what truly aligns with you, you create space for joy, growth, and connection. Boundaries are a form of kindness to yourself and to others. They prevent misunderstandings and build clarity about what you need to thrive. Respecting yourself doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you recognize that you can't pour from an empty cup. It's an acknowledgement that your energy, time, and emotions are valuable and deserve care. Every time you honor your boundaries, you reinforce your sense of self-worth. You show yourself that you are deserving of love, kindness, and respect, not just from others, but from yourself. Self-love isn't just about how you treat yourself in private. It's reflected in how you allow others to treat you. Boundaries and self-respect are the foundation of that love. They give you the strength to protect your peace and the freedom to live authentically. Because when you stand firm in who you are, you create a life that feels aligned, fulfilling, and true to you. Forgiveness is the pathway to healing and self-acceptance. It is not about excusing what happened or pretending the pain didn't exist. Forgiveness is about releasing the grip that hurt and resentment have on your heart. It's a choice to let go of the heavy weight you've been carrying, even if you don't forget what caused it. When you forgive others, you free yourself from the cycle of anger and bitterness. You reclaim the energy that was tied up in reliving the pain, allowing it to flow towards something that serves you. Forgiving others doesn't mean their actions were justified. It means you've decided to prioritize your peace over your pain. But forgiveness isn't just something you extend outward. Some of the hardest forgiveness you'll ever practice is the forgiveness you owe yourself. We often hold ourselves to impossible standards, replaying every mistake, every regret, every moment of falling short. But carrying guilt and shame only deepens the wound, it doesn't heal it. Self-forgiveness is an act of compassion, a way to remind yourself that you are human and imperfect. It's acknowledging the mistake, learning from it, and choosing to move forward instead of staying stuck in self-blame. Forgiveness doesn't happen instantly. It's a process. It takes time, effort, and patience to untangle the emotions tied to the hurt. And sometimes forgiveness is a choice you have to make over and over again. But with each step, you lighten your load and open the door to healing. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it gives you the power to write a new story. A story where pain doesn't define you and mistakes don't imprison you. It creates space for growth, for peace, and for self-acceptance. Because when you forgive, you let go of what no longer serves you. And in doing so, you make room for something better to take its place. Gratitude turns ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. It's the simple practice of pausing, looking around, and noticing what's good, what's beautiful, what's worthy of appreciation. Gratitude isn't about denying life's challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on what you have, not just what you lack. When you practice gratitude, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. You begin to see the richness in even the smallest things: a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, a moment of quiet. These moments, often overlooked, become sources of joy and contentment when you choose to appreciate them. Gratitude doesn't require grand gestures or perfect circumstances. It's found in the everyday, the laughter of a loved one, the beauty of nature, the comfort of home. When you express gratitude, you open your heart to the present moment, allowing it to fill you with peace. This shift in perspective transforms how you experience the world. Instead of rushing through life, constantly seeking the next big thing, you begin to savor the now. Gratitude helps you find meaning in the mundane. It invites you to slow down and be present, to notice the blessings that already surround you. The more you practice gratitude, the more you see the good in your life. You begin to realize that even in difficult times, there are lessons, there are gifts, there are moments of grace. Gratitude doesn't change the circumstances, but it changes how you relate to them. It opens your eyes to the abundance that's already there, waiting to be noticed. When you cultivate gratitude, you create a life filled with richness and depth. You turn the ordinary into extraordinary, not by changing what's around you, but by changing the way you see the world. And in doing so, you make every moment a chance to celebrate the beauty of life. These 6 lines, repeated daily, can help create a life of intention, courage, and connection. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed, and what you plant in your heart today will shape your tomorrow. By repeating these affirmations, you're setting an intention for how you want to show up in the world. You're reminding yourself that you are worthy of love, respect, and belonging, no matter what happens around you. You're affirming that you are enough as you are, and you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You're choosing courage, not by pretending you're fearless, but by taking that step forward despite the fear. You're honoring your boundaries, knowing that self-respect is the foundation for healthy relationships. Each day, as you say these 6 lines, you bring yourself back to the present moment, aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with your true self. They become a compass, guiding you through life's ups and downs with resilience and clarity. They ground you in truth so that no matter the challenges you face, you remember who you are and what you're capable of. These affirmations are not just words, they are a practice that cultivates a mindset rooted in self-compassion, growth, and peace. As you repeat them, you strengthen your connection to yourself, to your values, and to the world around you. And over time, you'll notice that this practice transforms the way you experience life, turning ordinary moments into opportunities for joy, meaning, and connection. Because when you speak these 6 lines to yourself every day, you create a life that reflects the truth of who you are: worthy, enough, courageous, and deserving of all the good that comes your way. As you stand here today, remember that the power to shape your life lies in the words you speak to yourself. Each affirmation you repeat is a reminder that you are in control of your mindset, your growth, and your journey. You are worthy, you are enough, you are capable of courage and resilience. These 6 lines are not just empty words, they are the foundation of a life lived in intention, self-compassion, and strength. So take a moment each day to ground yourself in these truths and watch how your world transforms. Because when you speak kindly to yourself, when you step into your power and embrace who you truly are, you unlock the life you've always deserved. A life of purpose, connection, and unwavering self-belief. Thank you.